Hey everyone. So today we're going to take a really close look at a piece of tech that, let's be honest, you see everywhere. I'm talking about Apple's second generation AirPods Pro. But the big question is, do they actually live up to all that hype? Yeah, it's a pretty bold question, right? But that's exactly what we're here to figure out. By the time we're done, you're going to know exactly what these things can do, and we'll have a much clearer picture of whether they've really earned that title. Okay, so at their very core, these earbuds are a huge step up from what came before. Apple is calling them their most advanced ever, and the reason for that really comes down to one thing: the new H2 chip. Just think of it as the brains of the whole operation. It's what's working behind the scenes to make everything, from noise cancellation to the actual sound you hear, smarter, faster, and just richer. All right, first things first, let's talk about what matters most with any earbuds. How do they actually sound? Because Apple's making some big promises here. So what they've done is really focus on balance. You get this deep, rich bass that you can actually feel, but it doesn't get all muddy or drown out the vocals and the crisp high notes. The goal here was to make it sound incredibly clean and true to life, almost like you're right there in the recording studio with the artist. But honestly, this next feature is where the real wow factor kicks in. It's called personalized spatial audio, and it's so much more than just left and right stereo. It actually creates this bubble of sound all around you. So get this, imagine you're watching a movie on your iPad. When you turn your head to the left or right, the sound still feels like it's coming directly from the screen. It's really something you have to experience. So when you put all that tech together, what do you actually get? Well, it's pretty simple. Music just feels more alive. It's not just something you're listening to, it's something you feel. It's more powerful, more realistic, more engaging. Okay, so having amazing sound is great, but what's the point if all you can hear is the world around you, right? You need to be able to block that out. And well, this is where Apple claims they've made one of their biggest jumps forward. And here's the headline number: 2 times. They're claiming up to twice the noise cancellation of the last generation. Now, that is not some tiny little update. That is a massive, game-changing improvement. It completely changes where and when you can just tune everything out and focus. So just think about what that actually means for your day-to-day. That constant humming noise on an airplane, it just disappears. All the chatter in a busy office when you're trying to concentrate, gone. Even the clinking of weights at the gym or the sounds of a busy street just melt away. It basically lets you create your own little personal bubble wherever you happen to be. But sometimes you don't want to be completely isolated from the world, and that's where this really clever feature called adaptive transparency comes in. It's a smart mode that lets you hear what's going on around you, but, and this is the cool part, that H2 chip is smart enough to instantly turn down any really loud, harsh sounds, like a construction site or a passing ambulance siren. It happens in real time, protecting your ears without completely shutting you off. So the end result is you get the best of both worlds, really. You have enough awareness to be safe walking around, but you don't get startled by sudden, loud noises. It's this perfect balance between staying connected and staying comfortable. All right, so we've got amazing sound and incredible noise control. Those are the big ticket items. But what about all the other stuff? The practical, everyday things that decide if you're actually going to use these things all day long. Let's talk about phone calls, because this is a big one. They've really upgraded the microphones to focus on your voice and filter out all the background noise. So what that means for you is simple. The person you're talking to hears you, clear as day, not the coffee shop or the windy street you're walking down. And what about battery life? Well, that's gotten a nice little boost. You're looking at a solid 6 hours of listening on just a single charge. For most of us, that's more than enough to get through a long flight or a whole afternoon of work without having to worry about them dying. But that's just the earbuds themselves. Pop them back in the case, and you've got a grand total of 30 hours of listening time. 30! For a lot of people, that means you could go a whole week of commuting and workouts before you even have to think about plugging the case in. And speaking of charging, they've made that way more convenient too. You can use a MagSafe charger, you can use your Apple Watch charger, or just a good old USB-C cable. It basically means you have more options and probably fewer cables to pack when you travel, which is always a nice little bonus. Look, none of these features matter if the earbuds are uncomfortable, right? So Apple now includes 4 different sizes of silicone tips in the box, including a new extra small size. So pretty much everyone can get that perfect snug fit. The whole idea is that they're so lightweight and secure you can wear them for hours, or even on a run, and just forget they're even there. Now we've got to talk about this secret weapon, the thing that for a lot of people is the absolute deal maker. The way these things work inside the Apple ecosystem, it really is kind of like magic. So if you're someone who uses an iPhone, an iPad, maybe a Mac, this is where things get really cool. You just open the case near your phone and boom, they're connected. But then say you start watching a video on your Mac, the sound just automatically switches over. Then a call comes in on your iPhone and it switches right back. You don't have to click anything or go into any settings. It just works. It's that seamless.
Okay, so let's pull all of this together. We've talked sound, we've talked noise cancellation, we've talked about the day-to-day practical stuff. So what's the bottom line? I mean, when you lay it all out, the list of pros is pretty long. The sound is genuinely exceptional. The noise cancellation is absolutely top tier. You've got that super smart transparency mode, great battery life, and a really comfortable fit. It's a fantastic package. And it has to be said, if you're already using Apple products, the experience is just on another level. You know, someone summed it up in a way that I think really hits the nail on the head. They said, this isn't just another gadget, it's a daily lifestyle upgrade. And when you think about it, that makes sense. They improve your commute, they improve your workouts, your work calls, your downtime. They really do weave themselves into almost every part of your day. And that kind of brings us full circle. The question maybe isn't, are these the best earbuds in the world? But something more personal. It's, will all these features, the sound, the silence, the convenience, add up to a real, meaningful upgrade for your life? And that really is the only question that matters.